All right, hello. Welcome to the Hold My Helmet Football Podcast. I'm your host, Will Reichling.
And I'm your co-host, Dylan Boyle.
Welcome back, Dylan. Welcome back. A crazy week for week 3. I've gotten so many picks wrong. My dad made fun of me. It was a little embarrassing.
A lot of blowouts, too.
I know.
A lot of teams, And
a lot of those blowouts were my upset picks, and it just makes it look even worse. I made a reel and for us, and it said Bucks 3-0, and now the next day, now it's not looking good. That might have been like one of the ice cold takes memes and stuff. So hopefully that doesn't happen. You gotta live with it sometimes. You win, you live and you die by your picks.
I had some pretty good ones. Right?
Yeah, we'll get into how we did at the end of everything. But I'd like to start with probably the craziest game.
Craziest upset, for sure.
Craziest upset probably in a long time. The Arizona Cardinals, who everyone thought was tanking, beats the Dallas Cowboys 28-19.
Well, I will say, they're not tanking, and I don't think they can tank anymore at this point. A team like this, you see, they have some talent all around. I feel like this is a team where, like, you don't really know who's... There's not really that many players. I mean, there's an old James Conner. Like, he performed too, but, like, every one of these players kind of just performs to where they need to be.
Exactly. But, like, James Conner gets hurt a lot, but he showed that he's a legitimate running back. You have a legitimate wide receiver in Hollywood Brown. Pretty sure they have Zach Ertz.
Brown went off.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they have Zach Ertz still. So they still have some players. So maybe we doubted them a little bit too much. We just didn't know the quarterback situation. Josh Dobbs looks like he could at least play.
I think he could be, at least a top 32 quarterback.
I'd take him on the Jets.
Anything on the Jets.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
No, but I feel like the Cardinals really exposed the Cowboys. Like, everybody was saying the Cowboys are the best team in the league, and I don't think anybody's having that discussion this week.
Definitely not. And now that brings me to a point to ask, like, is the Cowboys defense as elite as we thought? Giving up 28 points to the Arizona Cardinals, can they be that elite after that?
I mean, I get it. Trayvon Diggs was hurt. He wasn't playing.
Tore his ACL out for the season.
Was he the whole defense? Because seems like it.
They still have Stephon Gilmore, a very good corner. I know, like, that's a big blow.
He was getting torched, too.
Yeah. So, Josh Dobbs looked very sharp. And they impressed. They definitely impressed. Cowboys are obviously still a legitimate contender, but they're going to live and die by Dak and McCarthy. Mm-hmm. And Dak throwing that pick in the end zone at the end, I know you were down by 2 scores, but what was he looking at there?
So it feels like this team is like, they're really good at blowing out teams, and, when they have a lead, they'll keep it rolling. But, like, can they play from behind?
That's a very good point. And, like, when it's a close game with another very good team, they tend to struggle. And
struggle a lot. There at the end of the game when Dak was in the red zone, he threw a ball right to a defender. It was a terrible look.
Yeah.
It wasn't even near the guy.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Where was he looking at? Like, it was like
there was a guy behind him, but he was completely covered. It was like triple coverage.
It was triple coverage. That's why I was a little confused. Like, he's like one of those.
He's a runner too. He could run it in.
Exactly, and he's big, and he's one of the only quarterbacks in the league where it's kind of like he makes throws sometimes where I'm like, dude, what were you looking at? Like, he's like one of those. He'll have very good games, but he always has those boneheaded turnovers.
He does. He was looking like Josh Allen the first weeks against the Jets.
Definitely. The Cardinals definitely aren't in the Caleb Williams sweepstakes anymore. They're probably not going to be. They're going to have 5-6 games, and especially when Kyler Murray comes back, they'll win a couple more. So, I mean...
So, who would be? Let's have a quick discussion. Who do you think would be?
Definitely, right now, the Chicago...
The Jets?
I don't think they'll be the number 1 pick, but the Chicago Bears, definitely.
The Chicago Bears. That's so disappointing,
I know.
Justin Fields. What do you even do with him? Just have him as a backup?
We'll definitely get into...
I think they would actually be really good backups to Caleb Williams. They're both really good running quarterbacks. If they
draft Caleb Williams, Justin Fields is going to go somewhere else.
You think so?
Yeah.
You think he's going to start somewhere else?
We'll see. We'll get into Justin Fields in a little bit. I'd like to get into your Giants and the 49ers.
Yeah.
And like they were in the game in the first half, but then the Brock Purdy kind of started off as a little slow, and then he started to really get going in the second half.
Yeah, I feel like the score's a little deceiving. It was a 30-12 game. I get it. We didn't look that good. But I'm telling you, the first half, I was very impressed. There was a lot of things I was disappointed by. Like, we could not tackle anybody out of the backfield.
The tackling was very poor.
The tackling was terrible.
Yeah, tackling was very poor.
Kittle was looking like some sort of yak
breaking
beast.
tackles, which he is, but like it was a little embarrassing.
There was like 4 or 5 people that kept hitting him and just he wouldn't go down.
It was definitely
embarrassing. You know, our cornerbacks and safeties need to step up. You know, they need to start hitting the gym or doing something.
Right.
You know?
Now this was like a very good example of a game where the line of scrimmage was controlled, like the lines decided the game, and the 49ers offensive line kind of had their way with the Giants defense. They were running the ball effectively. Christian McCaffrey looks like the best running back in the league now.
For sure. No, he deserves.
He hasn't lost a game that he started on the Niners since he got in there.
He is the highest paid running back, and
he's earning every penny.
Earning
every single penny.
Sure.
So I don't want to get too much into this game. I mean, we kind of all knew the Giants. They were missing Barkley. They were missing Andrew Thomas.
Yes.
We knew that they were going to struggle in this game.
I compliment them. They did good. You know, they got back to their roots. You know, they weren't running the ball that much. They were putting it in the air. You know, so I give it to them. You know, I mark this off as a W in our book. You know, we lost, but I put up a fight in at least the first half.
You put up in the fight in the first half. I definitely wouldn't put it as a W.
No, but like I wasn't too disappointed.
Definitely should have kept it closer. You should have kept it closer than what it was. But I'll cut you some slack because you were missing your starting running back and your starting left tackle, and the Niners are stacked everywhere. Okay, so Dylan. The embarrassment of the Broncos versus the Miami Dolphins.
God.
70 points, over 700 yards. I've been saying since the summer that this offense is going to be dangerous if Tua stays healthy. And now, I mean, they've exceeded all my expectations. This is just insane.
Waddle wasn't even playing.
I know.
They had their second best player that wasn't even playing.
Who would be a number one on many teams.
Yes.
And their third string running back had 200 rushing yards.
Yeah, what's his name?
A-Chain. A-Chain, yeah.
Yeah.
Devin.
Elite.
Yeah.
Elite roster right there. Okay, wait.
They have the fastest team in the league by far in NFL history.
This blows my mind because correct me if I'm wrong. Were the Broncos 2 years ago not the top 3 defensive in the league?
They were definitely top 10 last season.
No, I looked at it. I'm sorry. No, it was a kind of rhetorical question. They were top 3 defense 2 years ago.
And dude, didn't I tell you last season that stat, the Broncos, that they scored exactly 18 points, they would have won at least 10 games in every game? That's not the case this year. They're scoring 20 and they're letting up 30, 40, 70.
Yeah, it all happened after that Rams game last year. They had 51 points scored on them. And after ever
Baker,
since,
I remember that, yeah.
And ever since then, it's just been downhill on that defense. What do you do with this team?
Does Sean Payton have to be blamed here a little bit? You can't blame.
He was getting angry in the press conference.
Yes,
he was getting angry.
Yes, next question. He was getting very upset. But you can't blame this all on Russ. Russ didn't let up 70 points. So come on. At some point, it's not Russ. And Russ is definitely a reason why. Look, 20 points is not enough in this league.
Listen,
but they let up 70.
I wasn't crazy about. Okay, yeah, you're right. You know, you can't blame it on Russ. 70 points. That's the defense.
He's part of the problem. But yes, I think they gave up on Sean Payton in that game. They had to. If you let up 70 points, Mike White was throwing touchdowns to Robbie Anderson. Now he's Robbie Chosen, but he changed his name. But anyway, I was like, is that Robbie Anderson?
But, you know, we looked at the Chargers and we really decided, these are one of the worst defenses. They didn't let up 70 points.
No.
So
no.
What is
I know. It puts everything into perspective of this is like a video game almost.
Yeah.
It's very scary. And
I feel like it's just the morale for the Denver Broncos. Nothing's there. And nothing that should be there is there.
Right. It's like defense struggling, offense struggling, everything's struggling. It's just eventually, players that believe in the coach will galvanize with that coach. It doesn't seem like that's the case here. Is Sean Payton a little outdated now, and he's just being too rough on this team? Came in all cocky, crapping on Nate Hackett of the Jets.
That was the start of it.
It's karma, man. And that's how it works. And I think Sean Payton's still an elite head coach, but this is definitely not a good start for him as his Broncos stint.
Whatever happens from now on out they cannot scrub out.
It won't get worse than that.
No, I know. It won't get worse than that, but there's no getting away from that. You had 70
You cannot erase that. That's in the history book.
That's in the history book. I applaud Mike McDaniels for the way that he coaches and the way that he plays, He was 2 points away from breaking a record. They had over 2 minutes left. They easily could have.
Wasn't it 10 yards for the yards record too?
They could have beat 2 yards.
The yards and the points.
Yeah, the yards and the points. But he just took a knee. Even the reporter was asking him "Yo, what happened? You guys could have broken a record." He's like, "Listen, I don't care about all that. That's
he just wants to win games. Love it.
Yes,
great attitude. And the Dolphins, things are looking up for them. The Broncos, not so much. Yes. So we'll see what happens with those two. But Falcons,
interesting game.
That definitely was. Just the fact that it was a blowout, 50 point, just crazy. So before we move on, Dolphins have scored 70 points in that one game. The Broncos have scored 69 all year. To put that into perspective, but okay,
that's a good one.
Falcons at Lions, and we both got the W here. The Lions won. The Lions controlled this game. I don't want to get too much into this. The Falcons' offense struggled. The Lions just kind of controlled the game. The people running wide open downfield. It was just a very steady, slow game, and that the Lions just came out on top and controlled from start to finish, in my opinion.
I mean, this isn't a team like the Falcons aren't a team like you don't want to just come in and think you're gonna win. So the Lions did good for this. I love Goff on this team. I think he's gonna
great fit for this team.
Yes, for sure.
The offensive line.
I think this team's gonna go far for sure.
Yes, they're gonna win this division.
For the Falcons, they have a long way to go. They have a long way to go.
Then they've been competitive so far this year. They weren't. Come on, no one had them starting 2-0, let alone 3-0. So this is where they kind of came back to earth a little bit, especially that offense. Desmond Ridder kind of struggled a little bit.
That's what I was going to say. I don't know if Desmond Ridder is going to be their franchise quarterback, but
we will find out this season for sure.
We will.
We're already starting to find out. He had that nice comeback the week before. Couldn't do that this week. But the Lions are a tough team, so I understand. The
Lions are a tough team, but their defense
isn't that great.
No, they are not top par.
It's better than last season. Definitely has been better than last season. Seattle kind of torched it a little bit.
But to not even score a touchdown against this team?
Yeah, a little pathetic.
You got
Bijan Robinson.
They
have a good rushing attack, and it kind of got away from them a little bit in this game.
So a lot of question marks there, but Lions definitely controlled that.
Yes. Chargers at Vikings, and boy, should we get into this one. So many things with this one. Very close game here. The fight to 0-3, or not to start 0-3. It seems like the Vikings, like we both were right in this, the Vikings are now 0-3. They lost this game. But Brandon Staley, how many times are you going to try and blow this game for the Chargers? They go for the fourth down on their own 30? When the Vikings have to score a touchdown, they have either one or no timeouts left. They have to go the whole distance of the field, and they decide to go for it on fourth down in their own territory. Not only that, then the play call by Kellen Moore, they put Joshua Kelly, a slender, smaller running back, in the fullback position and do a fullback dive. What are you trying to do here? To get to your best players, they're running wide open all day.
I think he's trying to get fired. I think that's what this is.
Brandon Staley alone for going for the fourth down was... Look, he should have still gotten fired after this game. The fact that they got lucky.
I feel like, they definitely should have lost this. Like, in my book, they already did lose it. Yeah. Like, that was a terrible play call. I can't even count to my fingers how many times he almost gave up a game that way.
Dumb decision, going for the fourth down, their own territory.
See, it's nice when they have those, like, they run those crazy plays where they... throw it to Mike Will.
That's Kellen Moore, though. That's the play calling. That's not Brandon Staley. He's supposed to be a defensive coach, and his defense sucks every year. They were a little better today. They created some pressure. They got some turnovers, especially at the end of the game. But Kellen Moore had a bad play call on that fourth down. I will say, I like him as an offensive coordinator. He tries to get too cute sometimes, just like he did in the fourth down, putting a running back as a fullback and doing a fullback dive up the middle. Come on, get a fullback for that. Put your tight end there. Just didn't make any sense to me, especially when your wide receivers are running wide open all game. Get it to Keenan Allen, who was having a big game. You have Quentin Johnson on the outside, Everett. But you go to
so many question marks. They had no timeouts left. Do you not trust your defense that much, where they can't stop them in their own 25? To go all the way down the field to score a touchdown in 1 minute and 51 seconds.
And his excuse,
come on, man.
And his excuse didn't make sense. He was saying, "Oh, well, because we were holding 4 points, not 3." Basically saying they were up 4, not 3, so they decided to go for it. Wouldn't that make you want to punt it even more because they have to get a touchdown instead of a field goal?
Exactly.
Even if that wasn't the case, and it's like, okay, we're down 3. You turn it over on fourth down, they're going to kick the field goal. So either way, I would have punted it.
They lucked out. I feel like the Vikings should have had this win. I don't know.
What do you think about the Vikings? I was about to say, I don't know what to say about them.
I don't know. I don't even know what to say about them. They didn't even look that great either. I mean, this game really could have gone either way. Either one of these teams could have pulled out the win. But just the way that the Chargers are calling these plays, I feel like the Vikings should have easily won this.
I know. They had every chance to win this game, but it's funny because
it handed to them on a
here you go, and they just drop it like a baby would drop like their baba or something.
It just shows the Vikings like what type of team they are. They always fold under pressure. Always the last play. You just got to get 25 yards, and that's it. You win.
Exactly, and
you got Justin Jefferson. You got all these targets. You got Hawkinson that you just got in.
What does he do? He throws an interception. Yeah, it's just like so. It's rough for them. It's definitely a rough season for them. But like I hear Kirk Cousins to the Jets, and it's like, come on, they're not winning the Super Bowl with Kirk Cousins. He's good.
He's not. I would not want him on my team.
No, like I definitely would take him on my team if I don't like, but like,
dude, but
not
like,
at this point right now. It's like you might.
He's a choke artist, man. I don't want that type. I don't want to make it to the playoffs and then have him lose it for us, like he did to the Giants. Embarrassing. I'm gonna keep bringing it up because it's my Giants. But embarrassing.
It's funny because that was a perfect Kirk Cousins game. That Giants game. He didn't play terrible, but didn't make any special plays.
The last play, he was so stupid.
Yeah,
how do you do that?
You do it like 3 yards behind the first down when you had to
throw it to Hawkinson
down.
instead of hitting your target, your main target, Justin Jefferson.
On fourth down when you have to get to the sticks and he throws it behind the sticks. That didn't make any sense.
He just doesn't have any like football awareness sometimes.
It's more of like he's aware, but he chooses to make the safe play because he's scared of making a mistake sometimes. And it kind of like sometimes in those playoff games you have to take risks to better your team for better or worse. Like Brett Favre did it. That's why he was so elite. You know, he would make these crazy plays. Rodgers. Sometimes you gotta do that. And Kirk Cousins isn't an off-script guy. You know, he goes by the plays book. If it's not there, he dirts it. So that's just what Kirk Cousins is. And you know, they're definitely moving on. I think they're moving on from him after the season. His contract's up. They're 0-3 now. They're probably not making the playoffs.
Maybe they get Caleb Williams.
That's it. They're 0-3 right now.
I mean, yeah. There's not that many 0-3 teams right now.
Definitely a smart idea to keep an eye on that. So we'll keep an eye on that for sure.
And maybe that's what they need, a running quarterback.
Yeah. Well, definitely. I mean, he just sits there like a duck, Kirk Cousins.
So is this a league now that you need a running quarterback to be a good team?
You don't need it, but there's so many bad offensive lines that it definitely helps.
So what team right now doesn't have a running quarterback that's good?
Goff, the Lions.
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins and the Vikings aren't good anymore, but they were good last season. Let me think of another one that's like completely immobile. No, like that's really it. Goff and the Lions. That's
but
it.
They're old and they already kind of have like a grasp on how to be a good pocket passer. You know?
Yeah, exactly. And Burrow's like more of a pocket passer, but he can move. Like he's good.
No, he can move.
So Titans have Browns, and Browns impressed me a little bit here. We both got that wrong. I think it's time to ask Dylan: are the Browns one of the best defenses in the league? Because they've been elite to start the season.
I completely believe that. I believe that all the way. They had 2 games where they only let up 3 points, 3 total points, no touchdowns. The whole season, all 3 games, they only let up 1 offensive touchdown. That's pretty impressive.
It is for sure.
And one of those teams that they didn't score a touchdown, didn't have a touchdown scored against them, was the Bengals.
Yeah.
Was the Bengals with all their stocked players?
Right.
They couldn't.
And the one touchdown
anything?
I think it was the Pickett to Pickens touchdown.
Yes.
And it was kind of like a fluke thing where there wasn't really anyone over the top. They got beat and he kind of ran for a touchdown. This definitely to me was Deshaun Watson's best game as a Cleveland.
Yes.
He looked good this game, and like he made good decisions. He was getting the ball out quicker, and people were running wide open too downfield.
Yeah,
people were running wide. Amari Cooper
had it.
I told you he's a number 1 receiver. Yeah, he's good. He's a good route runner for sure.
He's good.
There's really nothing much else to say about that besides the Titans. Are the Titans? It doesn't seem like they're like that good this year. They're going to be competitive in some games. Not in this game though. They weren't.
No. Well, it's really hard with an amazing defense like this. Like I feel like this was the real game where we really saw how good their defense was.
The Browns,
yes, absolutely.
And how much the Titans are lacking. They struggled on offense.
Myles Garrett is insane. There was this one play where Myles Garrett was stripped from left to right, and they sent 2 offensive linemen back and forth. They had to call a timeout because they were just trying. They had to have 2 people
so
on
Myles
it.
Garrett would go one side, the other side, then they bring the line.
They did it twice, and then they had to call a timeout.
I missed that. That's actually really funny.
It was hilarious.
So the Browns controlled this game, and I think the Browns, now that the Bengals are struggling, they definitely have a shot for the playoffs. The Ravens have a lot of injuries.
Yeah,
they might have a shot to win the division. The Steelers have been playing okay.
They're bringing it back to the good old days. A good defense will bring you to the playoffs, and it's showing right now because
Nick Chubb's out. They're going to need that.
Yes, they definitely
Ford's
need it.
looking okay though,
yes.
And they brought back Hunt.
No, I completely forgot about that. Yeah, they just threw Hunt right back in. And I think he's going to fit well. When you have a running back like Ford, he looks aggressive too.
And he's quick.
Yes. Yeah. So you have these 2 good running backs. I feel like they can get it done. I'm sure Nick Chubb will be back at some point. I think
next season. He's done for this season.
No, he's done for this season. But I think they had an MRI, and it's not as bad as we all thought.
Yeah, we were talking about amputation.
Yeah,
we were definitely dragging it a little bit.
I think he had his MCL was tear and the ACL was stretched. So from
Definitely
the looks of it looked pretty crazy.
Definitely could come back though. He will come back.
Thank God he's okay.
So we'll see you next year, Nick Chubb. Get well soon. Saints at Packers. Now you were wrong on this. I was right, and that's probably mainly due to Derek Carr getting injured because the Saints were controlling this game 17-0 when Derek Carr got injured, and then the second half, Jordan Love kind of put on a mini show, not a complete show, but a mini show. He did, moving around, running, making great back shoulder throws to Romeo Doubs.
Jordan Love had a great game. I will give it to him. And Jameis Winston had a terrible game.
Yes.
He couldn't get them any points on the field. You score a field goal and you win. That's it.
Now, he did drive him down the field to get that winning field goal, and then they missed. But that's all he did the whole game. All second half.
That was like the only good drive he had.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
I'm not crazy. They need to get another backup, honestly.
Yeah, I think I think Jameis Winston's cooked.
He can't even be a backup in this league, apparently. Maybe like a third string. But you really got to get somebody else back there, especially with the old Derek Carr. He's aging now. Now he's going to have a shoulder injury. We don't know if that's going to linger. So
it might. So he has a sprain. It's nothing serious, but they said the amount of time he's going to miss is going to be based on the swelling and the recovery. So he might miss a game. He probably won't, but he might miss a game or two. So they're going to need Jameis Winston to step up here.
They should just throw Taysom Hill in there and let him be quarterback.
They've tried that before, and they've had slight success. Not really. I mean, he's limited as a thrower, but yes, it was better than what Jameis Winston did. So
did not show any glimpse of hope or anything like that.
Exactly.
They could have easily won this game. And
they could have. They had so many opportunities just to get one more score, and they couldn't do it.
Kudos to the Green Bay Packers.
And I'm very impressed because we got to remember, Dylan, Aaron Jones didn't play. He's been missing Christian Watson all season, his number one receiver.
What happened to him? Do you know the injury?
I don't remember the injury specifically, but I know he hasn't played a game yet this season because I have him in fantasy and he hasn't played yet. So I don't know if it was a hamstring, but it's something that's lingering. And Jordan Love, what I've learned from these 3 games is that, okay, I don't know where his ceiling is yet. Like I said, I don't know if he can get into the top yet.
It's a lot higher than you thought, though.
It might be. But what I've really learned from Jordan Love is that his floor is very high. Like, his worst is going to be a pretty damn good quarterback. So that's important in this league. Like people like Kirk Cousins, his floor is low. Those are good quarterbacks. Like, he's never going to be lower than like middle of the pack. We know that now.
I don't want to bring him down at all because he's a great quarterback, but he has been in the league for at least 3 to 4 years now. So
that experience has helped him.
Exactly. It has helped him a lot.
And you see it now. He's making smart plays. I have not seen him make a dumb throw yet.
Dude, no, the throws he's been making were elite.
Yes.
Elite throws.
The back shoulder throw to Dobbs was an elite throw. And he has that flick of the wrist with his arm.
Yes,
he does.
He can air it out. He can air it out too.
It's all going to be a learning experience for him. And like he's impressed me. I will say that because I was very hard on Jordan Love coming in.
Listen,
and the Packers could make the playoffs.
This Packers team's looking a lot better than last year's Packers team.
Yes, and I think Jordan Love, like obviously Rodgers is the better quarterback, but Jordan Love is a better fit for this team. He's younger. He relates more to these guys, these young receivers. Yes. And like Rodgers, when he falls down in games big, he kind of just like gives up. Not that he gives up, but he's like, okay, let's just chalk it up. We'll start over next week. He's like young, has a chip on his shoulder, fought back in that game, and I was very impressed from that with Jordan Love.
Yeah, he did not let this deficit get to him. He came back out firing.
Very calm, cool, and collective by
Jordan
Love.
To him for sure.
Now, another one that shocked us, Dylan, Texans at Jaguars. Now, the Texans, they controlled this game, and C.J. Stroud has definitely impressed both of us.
Yes.
He's made some... He always knows where to go with the ball. That's what I have to say about him.
I think I'm most impressed by C.J. Stroud. Out of all the draft class, I think I'm most impressed by him.
What about Richardson, though? Because you love you some Richardson.
Okay, so for a throwing quarterback,
Stroud. I know what you're saying. Stroud's been the most impressive.
Yes, he has.
Stroud's been the most impressive passer.
All around, yes, Richardson. Richardson looks great all around.
But I agree with that. Stroud's been the most impressive passer so far.
Yes, I want to see him back, though. I missed him this week.
Yeah, but they still won, but we'll get into that, too.
Yes.
So,
Are we worried about the Jaguars at this point?
I think it's time to ask that question. But maybe wait one more week because they only scored 9 points to the Chiefs. Their offense kind of struggled here again. It took them a while to get going. 17 points isn't going to cut it in this league. No, we know that.
Not even close.
So, and that's a divisional. Maybe it's because it was a divisional game and it was weird. Very impressed with the Texans, though. Obviously, the Texans probably aren't going to be a playoff team.
They have a bunch of nobodies, bro.
Exactly. They're probably not going to be a playoff team. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So this is definitely a great building block for the Texans. Maybe we won't sum it up for the Jags too much yet because I think we all know the Jags are good.
There's so many teams that we thought were going to be elite and just are not coming to the
Bengals,
table.
Chargers have struggled. You know, Ravens have been up and
Jaguars,
down. Yeah.
Even the Chiefs, they started off really slow.
Yes, now I do think the Jaguars won the division. I mean, what are the Titans going to do?
Bills,
Yeah,
the Bills have been better. No, this week they have been better.
The last 2 weeks.
Yes.
But yes, the Jaguars have struggled the last 2 weeks, and I think it's time to ask that question. You have to remember, they were like, what, 1-6 or 3-7 before they went on that hot winning streak at the end of the season. Mm-hmm. Was that a fluke? I don't think it was a fluke. They have talent on offense. The defense looked pretty crappy this week, though. So they have to step up.
Especially with Calvin Ridley.
And Kirk. Ingram. Etienne. We talk about it every week.
Etienne looked great this week.
It's just I think it was the defense this week.
It was the defense.
17 is not going to cut it, though. I think we could both agree. But, like, we'll relax on the Jaguars. I don't think we're about to jump down their throats yet. Like, you're about to jump on this next team, the Bengals and the Rams.
Oh,
now, the Bengals did win, but both teams struggled here.
Thread.
Yeah,
they won by a thread.
Really, the reason they won, honestly, is because Matt Stafford was kind of forcing the ball a lot. The Bengals created a lot of turnovers. You know, Burrow didn't do anything special in this game, but they started to come along a little bit in the second half. A little bit. You know, Jamar Chase had a big day. But overall, still not impressed. But it looks like Joe Burrow's having trouble planting that right foot. Or is it his right? I'm pretty sure it's right calf. He's having trouble planting that calf and putting power into his throws. And you saw that. He's flailing a lot of throws to the sideline.
So you think that's the reason? Do you think that's
he looks off? He looks off. Something's off, and I think he looks.
He does
injured.
look off. I'll give you that.
He doesn't look 100% to me.
Now, I feel like if the Bengals didn't have a good defense like they do, then they wouldn't have pulled off this win.
Very underrated. Even though they lost both their starting safeties in the offseason, they still have been very impressive.
They were putting a lot of pressure on Stafford.
Yeah. They had. I think they had a ton of sacks in this game.
Yeah, they had like 6 sacks. Yeah. They were doing their thing.
And the Rams and Stafford only had 1 sack on him this year before that game, so that was very impressive.
It was. No, I'll give it to him. But I wasn't disappointed by the Rams either. You know, they stuck in this too. You know, they
did, but they couldn't generate a lot of offense. Puka Nacua didn't have the same game that he had the last 2 weeks. Tutu Atwell. Now, it did seem like Tutu Atwell was in on that touchdown, so that might have changed a little bit in the game. But, you know, we're not going to get into this with the refs and everything and the being rigged. And
It's rigged.
Yeah, if anything, you would want a Los Angeles team to win if it was rigged. But
but I'm not crazy on Joe Burrow.
I know, I can tell.
Joe frozen, bro. He's like frozen himself.
He's not Joe Seisty
anymore.
anymore.
He had a 53% throwing percentage last week. It just wasn't good. Not at all.
That's not good. I admit that. Look, it's hard to argue with what you're saying right now. I know you've been on this for a while. Ever since the injury started in the offseason, you've kind of been alluding to this. But, you know,
because
they got their first
win. We were so
win.
high on them. They should have been in the Super Bowl.
I think he was both of our MVP picks. Yeah. Joe Burrow. So it has been very difficult
now.
Well, they are 1-2 now. No, yeah, that's probably in the garbage. Like, it's hard to bounce back from a 3-game skid, really, where you're kind of struggling as far as Joe Burrow. But they did get their first win here. So this was huge for them. You know, 0-3 teams, we know the percentage of them making the playoffs is very low. So this was big for the Bengals. The Rams struggled here. I think they kind of got exposed a little bit on offense. Their defense definitely hung in there for them this game. They have a nice young defense, but the offensive line kind of struggled here, and it really ultimately Stafford turned the ball over too much, and that's why the Rams lost this week.
Yeah.
So now my New York Jets. Can you get someone in there other than Zach Wilson? Anyone? Tim Boyle maybe? I don't care. Pick up Streveler. Call Joe Flacco. Now, they did sign Trevor Siemian.
RG3.
Yeah. So RG3. Did he say something about playing?
Yeah, I was about to say, he was kind of like saying, like, well, there's all these quarterbacks that could be playing. He named the list of them. He named the list of them. What?
Was he on the list?
No, he did. He's like, but they don't want to play him because they're too controversial. They're going to cause too much distraction for these other QBs. I'm like,
yeah, it's a little weird because you have Rodgers coming back next year. That's why I wouldn't trade for Kirk Cousins. But they do sign Trevor Siemian. This game was terrible. I went to the game. And, dude, Zach was just, like, holding on to the ball too long. You had Garrett Wilson wide open on a drag over the middle. He throws it too late. 4th and 9. I think it was 4th and 9 at the end of the game. Second to last drive before the drive with the Hail Mary. He throws a little safety net route to Tyler Conklin way behind the first down. Like, what are you doing? First off, why are you calling a play? Why are you calling a play where anyone's running a route that short when you have to get a first down on 4th down? Second off, why are you throwing it to him? There's so much I could get into with this game. The defense definitely bounced back for the Jets. The Patriots offense struggled, but Mac Jones made throws when he had to, and that's the difference. They also ran the ball effectively, which the Jets didn't.
Yeah. Their defense, I mean, like, it was good, but it just didn't get the job done.
No, and I'll take anything other than Zach Wilson at this point. I can't watch him anymore. He's just terrible. He had one good drive, yes, and it got me. Somehow they met. a Hail Mary and they almost won this game. Somehow, they still were in this game. I don't understand how. This defense did hold them in the game, but can we get a sack? Can we get a pressure? I don't think we had a single sack in this game. We're supposed to have this great D-line. I have not seen it. Anything you want to add? Sorry.
I mean, listen, they held them to 15 points. I mean, there's nobody really crazy on the Patriots where they should be scoring a lot of points.
Right.
Regardless of the matter.
Right.
But this...
They did score 20 on the Eagles and then 24, I think, on the Dolphins, or was it 17? Anyway, go on. So.
Yeah, no. But, yeah, so they held them. So this is a very winnable game. And, you know, it just goes to show that Zach Wilson's not that guy.
Dude, I think everyone knows
that guy anytime soon.
Anyone with a logical football brain knows this. I think this head coach, I think Robert Saleh is a good head coach, but he's going to go down with this quarterback if he keeps being stubborn and trotting him out there. He's going to get himself fired. The GM is going to get himself fired. They should have gone and back up in the offseason for Rodgers. And I get it. Aaron Rodgers goes down, your season's over anyway. But you got to bring in some kind of backup. Like,
you kind of had to know this coming into it, though. You're bringing in an
39
quarterback. Yeah.
Bad offensive line. Come on.
Something's going to happen. And you think Zach Wilson's
ready? He definitely
ready?
wasn't playing 17 games, that's for sure. We didn't know it was going to be 4 plays, but...
He was really high on him in the preseason, though. He was saying, like, he's light years,
what is he supposed to say,
years ahead of
what is he going to say? What is he going to say, though? Yeah, he's not good at all. He sucks. Like, come on. I get it. He likes Zach.
Yeah,
and
right.
I think Zach reminds him of himself because the flashy arm can move. He's not Aaron Rodgers. He'll never be Aaron Rodgers. He won't even be Mac Jones, who turned out to be better than him in the same draft class. When I would have never thought that in a million years. And, like, the Patriots have their own problems with Mac Jones. Look, they struggled in this game, too. But...
So, I don't know if we want to bring this up. I don't know if it's fake news or not, but apparently there was people protesting saying
I gotta see if that's real, yeah. So there was apparently
out there, yeah.
Jets players and leaders of the team were apparently going to protest if Saleh kept starting Zach Wilson. So they do sign Trevor Siemian.
You have to be so hated for a team to protest against you.
Yeah, and I feel
that's crazy.
I partially feel bad for Zach because it's like they just keep throwing him out there at this point. It's like I'm sure he doesn't even want to go out there at this point.
No.
So
it's like, dude, where's this other back?
And I forgot to mention, Wentz and Matt Ryan, their agents have reached out to the Jets, and the Jets declined. What are you doing? Matt Ryan, I get because he's going to get killed behind this line. Carson Wentz can move and has an arm. Look, Joe Douglas, the GM, was with him in Philadelphia. He must know something we don't about. I thought he's a bad locker room guy, so that's really all I could sum that up to. Jets suck. End of the story.
Jets, Caleb Williams. Let's get him.
At this point, I feel like that's what they're trying to do here. Like, are they just trying to tank? But, like, you can't... These players are getting pissed off. They want to win now. So, like, I think you're really starting to piss some players off.
They thought this was the year. I don't blame them.
Yeah, I don't blame them either. So, look, we were... Well, actually, you were right on this one, and I was dead wrong. Colts at Ravens. Gardner Minshew...
I knew it.
Gardner Minshew pulled it off. But Lamar looked really good in this game, so I don't really put this on Lamar. But
Lamar played good.
They could have scored more points, though. 19's not going to cut it.
No.
But Gardner Minshew, look, he's probably the best backup in the league. And he showed it today.
Yes, absolutely. He's right up there with Josh Dobbs.
Yeah, he definitely is.
Those are two that are right neck and neck.
Dalton may be up there, but
yeah. Oh, yeah, that's another one we're going to get into.
Yeah,
too.
exactly.
Definitely the top 3 backups.
Right.
But yeah, no, absolutely. He was looking top par for sure.
He was making all the right throws. He got sacked a couple times where he kind of just kept trotting back. But look, that's what a backup's going to make some mistakes. But he definitely looked impressive in this game. I wouldn't chalk this up to much, as far as the passing game looked better than Anthony Richardson. Anthony Richardson's your guy. That doesn't change.
It's kind of exciting to see what Anthony Richardson's going to do when he comes back.
Exactly. Pittman had a big day.
Mobile.
Pittman had a huge day.
Yes,
you needed that from him too. That big catch where his helmet got ripped off.
Yeah, and he tried to get up and keep going.
Yeah. Remind me of Jason Witten back in the day when his helmet got ripped off and he ran for a touchdown. That doesn't work like that anymore. But you still,
unfortunately.
Yeah, but anything else you want to add to that? I mean, you got the win here, so
yeah. No,
Do you want to rain on my parade? Go ahead. You're definitely going to with the next one. So
no. This one was really good. I was very impressed by the Colts, and I feel like they're a lot better than we thought.
Definitely. I thought they were going to be one of the worst team. I was low.
You were really low on
But I was high on Anthony Richardson. I just thought it was going to take some time for him to get acclimated to an NFL defense. An NFL offense, but reading an NFL defense. But his running abilities have helped him progress with that.
And they have a good backfield now too. Zach Moss really stepped up.
He had a big game, yes. So now when you bring Jonathan Taylor back, you have a formidable backup with Zach Moss, and you can give Jonathan Taylor some rest. So very good point there. The defense still looks pretty good.
Yeah. So they could win games.
They can win games.
I'm excited to see what they look like when
they can
when
possibly win
helped.
7-8 games if they stay competitive like this. So I like that head coach Shane Steichen. They stole him from the Eagles. Maybe that was a lot of the reasons Jalen Hurts was having success? We'll find out. So, like I said, you're gonna roast me for this game. Bills at Commanders. Why did I pick the Commanders? I don't know. I'm crazy. I guess I'm crazy. I know my dad's laughing at me
I
right
really
now.
don't blame you. We were just watching some of the highlights, and Sam Howell.
He makes good throws.
He makes good throws, but he's like a rookie. He's gonna have those bad throws.
He only had one start last year, so yes, he is like a rookie.
Yeah,
but the 4 picks were rough. But some of them were but some of them were stupid. But it was just a rough game. You're gonna have these when you haven't started. When you only started 4 or 5 games. What is it? I mean, you're gonna struggle eventually.
The score was 37-3
blowout,
and it did not look like a 37-3 game.
It was 16-0 in the fourth quarter. Still a 2-score game. Yes. All of a sudden, I don't know what happened.
The defense, he threw a pick.
All those picks, but yeah, I guess you were falling down. He was trying to force the ball. It happens. I don't know what to take from it. I was impressed by the Bills because the last 2 weeks they've shown us that the Jets game was kind of a fluke. Josh Allen has been better. He did have one dumb pick where he threw it up again. Mm-hmm. It seems like he always does that.
And James Cook had himself a day too. So now
that's the big key.
Yes, you have a good running back now. You have a running game going on. So yeah, they're going to be really good this year. They just got to keep it up.
And Josh Allen's running less too, which is huge. You don't want him getting hurt.
And he's actually sliding.
Yes, right.
We love to see that. Davidson had himself a day too. He's really stepping up to be that good number two. Yeah. They really were shying away from him last year.
He was inconsistent. He was very huge game and being non-existent.
Yeah, no, but so what do you have? You have Stephon Diggs and you got Knox. Who else?
They they did draft that tight end Kincaid. He's been a little slow to come out the gate, but Gabe Davis and James Cook now.
He's
got some good pieces.
Really stepping back up. So now I'm not too worried about the Bills.
They're a playoff team.
From all these other slow teams, they could really make a run for the playoffs and the Super Bowl.
They're definitely a playoff team, in my opinion. Especially with all the other teams struggling, they've definitely corrected themselves from week 1. They realized that, look, I'll just chalk week 1. The Jets defense kind of has Josh Allen's numbers the last couple of games. That's really, I guess, it's just like a matchup game, divisional game. It makes that makes sense.
He just didn't have a good game there.
Not going to be high on the Jets.
I'm sure he got a lot of
criticism for that. Yeah, they probably called him out in tape when they were watching tape.
Yeah, for sure. What were you thinking here with this throw?
And he's responded. And he did, like I said, he did have that one dumb throw, but he's been good these last 2 weeks. Very good. So Bills definitely a playoff team in my opinion.
I'm a Jets fan too, guys. Non-biased here.
Well, you're not a Jets fan, but let's not.
No, I'm saying that's why I pointed here.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'm being high on the Bills, so okay, I gotta call it what it is. So Steelers at Raiders, we were both wrong. The Steelers defense I think that's another elite defense. They're gonna win them a bunch of games this year. That defense. Kenny Pickett did enough. Wasn't too impressive, but made the throws when he had to. Was enough, and this defense carried this game. So
this is a game that the Steelers, they were a little slow from the get-go, but now they're really starting to get some momentum going, and I really like them. I've always been high on them, but I was a little worried after those 2 first games. But now they're showing us, they really could make it work. I'm just not too crazy about Najee Harris. I used to be really high on him. But he's just not making those plays anymore.
He's not good. And he was a first-round pick. I'm
back with you on that one. They need to get some other
that
back in there.
Warren is way quicker. Jalen Warren. He looks way quicker than Najee Harris. I know Najee has the good stiff arms and trucking people, but he's not getting any.
He hasn't shown it this year at all.
He hasn't. He had that one good run, I think, where he cut back, and we were like, oh, we were all surprised because.
And with somebody Kenny Pickett's a little mobile, but you need some sort of other running game to get things going. You just don't. You need somebody else there.
That's the big problem with the Steelers. They haven't been able to get a consistent running game. It was the problem last season. It's been a little better in a couple games this season. It's really been carried by the defense here. And I think the Raiders' offense is really inconsistent. Look, they started off strong, fell off a little bit, came back on. They're just up and down, up and down. And I feel that just goes with Garoppolo because he's up and down, up and down. It's very rough. And I don't like their head coach either.
No. They're not doing too many good things, but they got a lot of stars there. So I feel like they should be.
They should be doing better.
They should be. Jimmy G's a good quarterback. You got Josh Jacobs, one of the best running backs in the league. You got Devontae Adams, one of the best wide receivers in the league. So what am I missing here where they're not completely dominating?
Well, the defense sucks, that for one. But it just shows the defense sucked and the Steelers' offense still wasn't great. But they had a chance in this game. It's just the offense was too inconsistent. Mm-hmm. And I don't really know what else to say about that. I think we know the Raiders are going to struggle this year. They're not going to be great, but I don't think we both think they're not going to be terrible too. I think the Steelers could push for the playoffs. It's really, we keep bringing this up, Steelers or Browns. Seems like it's going to fight between those two. I mean, the Ravens are still the Ravens, and we don't know what the Bengals. So I think that might be the toughest division, the AFC North. Bengals, Ravens, Steelers, Browns. Yeah, that's shaping up to be the best.
I think the
division.
Browns might be running away with that.
But that defense, I don't disagree with you at all. So, Bears at Chiefs, this was a blowout, Dylan. I don't want to spend too much time on this. We know Justin Fields sucks. He's a bust. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be mean about the guy. Like, he's not good. He's like Zach Wilson. He cannot read a defense. He can't. 10 points? 10 points. And it was all garbage time points. Like, what are we doing here,
I get
guys?
this defense is good, but yeah, I'm finally
definitely impressive with this defense.
On the Justin Fields sucks boat because he has not been.
It's funny because he had a run in the beginning of the game, and you texted the group chat.
I thought
Justin Fields is back, and then it went south just from that point, basically.
Was someone tell us like, "Yo, you can't do that. Come on, back to your pocket."
And I feel bad for him because like the line isn't doing him any favors, but it's like, look, man, he just cannot process as quick as you need to process in this league, and he's not taking off quick enough either. If you don't see it, go. And he's not. Yeah. It's just taking too long with his decision making, and it's just. They're not getting a good running game.
Travis Kelce got Swifty though.
got Swifty. If you know the Rick and Morty reference, but Taylor Swift.
Yeah, it was a Taylor Swift game, if anything.
she was at the game, and like I guess it's confirmed that they're dating now. I don't really care much.
No, I heard she was also dating Jimmy G too.
Really?
I don't know, man.
Those are like the two. I guess that makes sense. Those are the two, like I guess most like best looking guys. I guess because Jimmy G, I always hear about how handsome his face is, and then Kelsey's got the beard going like me, so I can.
You got the mustache going.
Oh yeah, he shaved the beard. I'm not liking. I'm not liking that either. I'm not liking that look. I'm not liking.
Apparently Taylor Swift is.
Now I don't really care much for this. I don't care much for Taylor Swift. I mean, he's calling me a hater.
But listen, it's a business. The NFL is a business, so
this is good marketing.
It is. It's
getting a pop star at an NFL game.
She's one of the most popular pop
especially
stars
right
in the
now.
league.
She's very
in the league.
in the league of pop stars, the pop star league. No, right? She came back. She was like dead for a little, not dead, but like she was really popular when we were younger. And kind of died off. Now she kind of came back again. Probably because she made an album. I don't know.
Yeah, bro. Comeback of the year for sure.
Taylor Swift, comeback of the year. Other than DeMar Hamlin.
Oh no, you can't forget DeMar Hamlin.
Now, one more thing on the Bears. They probably are the worst team in the league. Go get Caleb Williams.
It's crazy. It's just so crazy.
I know.
The worst team in the league we thought was the Cardinals. Now they might be right in the middle of the pack.
I think the Cardinals will probably destroy the Bears if they play today.
Oh, yeah, for sure, man.
Go get Caleb Williams, Chicago. Go get him. Justin Fields is not your guy. I'm sorry, he's not.
I think he might be the runner-up for the Caleb Williams sweepsake.
They might be the lead candidate.
Yeah, for sure.
Top contender. Anyway, Eagles at Bucks is another one where I embarrassed myself. Why did I pick the Bucks? Why? The Bucks, they hung around at the end.
Yeah, they hung around. This is a closer game than we thought it would be.
The Eagles' offensive line, again, just controlled this game. Swift had a big day. They just run the ball with conviction, man. And Jalen Hurts made a very good touchdown throw as he was getting hit to that guy Zacchaeus. A.J. Brown had a big day. The Eagles are the Eagles. That's all I can say about that.
Jalen Hurts might have had 30 minutes just sitting there in the pocket doing whatever he wanted.
I know.
Man.
We were like, what is going on here?
It's phenomenal.
Best line in the league.
And I think this kind of goes back to last week where you were saying how Jalen Hurts is, he has all the possibility in the world.
Yeah.
And he's
been a little off this year.
He has. You got two of the best. You have two of the best wide receivers in the league.
Probably the best duo in the league.
You got the best line in the league.
Yes.
And your stats just aren't there.
Now, I do think he'll improve as it goes on. Like I said, the Shane Steichen effect. He goes to the Colts. His offensive coordinator is gone. Now you got Sirianni calling plays again. And
I feel like they're much more of a run offense now than anything.
Yes, and last year they were going into the season, because the year before that, 2021, they were a heavy run offense, and they didn't have A.J. Brown yet. Devontae Smith was still getting going. And teams were saying last season, okay, we're going to have them beat us through the air. And they did, because they got A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. Now they're starting to cover the passing game again. Now they're starting to run with conviction again. So it's kind of going back and forth here. It's a chess match.
Can I just say, Swift looked amazing.
He's rejuvenated.
Oh, my God.
He's rejuvenated. They got him for a fourth-round pick. Detroit just let him go for a fourth.
Yes, that's great. I mean, I'm not going to hate on them because they had their own thing going.
Yeah, they
Montgomery's
do.
doing a really good job over there. But Swift, oh, my God. I feel like just the fact that they have four great backs, that where they can just throw them in at any time, completely energized.
They all stay fresh.
That's the only thing that worries me about this Eagle team. Well, not worries me as a Giants fan, but that's like one of the best things you could have. You know, just a recyclable running back.
So much
it's
depth.
Crazy.
Yeah, so much depth. Their defense too. Like I'm not crazy about, you know, I do like their secondary. Like their safeties are a little but they're drafting Jalen Carter, but probably the best player in the draft. Like their D line kind of controls the game too, and the Baker struggled. Obviously, I think we knew Baker would come back down to earth eventually.
Yeah,
and I was definitely wrong about this one. I just
soak it in. Baker folds like a lawn chair.
That's basically what you said last week.
That's what I said last week.
Okay, last but not least, Panthers at Seahawks. And Andy Dalton looked pretty good in this game. And I expected this. You know, Bryce Young is very new, and Andy Dalton's been around forever. So I knew that the offense would look a little better with Andy Dalton. But Kenneth Walker had a day, Zach Charbonnet had a day, the Seattle's running backs had a day. And Metcalf played really well. So it really came down to the Seahawks offense was better than the Panthers offense slightly, and that's what really happened.
Geno Smith, he had himself a day too. Like this is 37 points. Like you got to give it to him. They had themselves a day. You know, I'm really liking what I'm seeing from Geno. He's a quarterback that obviously he had his downfall in the past, but he's making a real comeback, and they're keeping with it. I feel like they're a team that can easily make the playoffs and could make a run for the Super Bowl if they wanted to. Kenneth Walker, great running back.
Love to have him in fantasy. Then you got
this guy Zach
Charbonnet,
Zach Charbonnet. He looks crazy. He had that. You were telling me
that guy at the one. Just whoa! He went like 5 yards back. That's a good 1-2 tandem right there.
That is.
I think they were both second-round picks too, back-to-back years.
Even going back to what I was saying, Kenneth Walker. Oh my God, he's a beast.
He's good at yards after contact.
Yes.
He gets hit and he stays up.
Yeah. Yes, I like him.
I'm high in Seattle too. I think.
And then you got Geno Smith that could run around too.
Yes, he's mobile and he's got a big arm.
Two elite receivers.
Yes,
Lockett.
And you got a third.
You got a third that's coming
on the rise.
Yes.
Right. And you got two really good running backs. Now you
got everything.
I think you get Jamal Adams back too. Finally, now the defense has kind of been terrible, but you get Jamal Adams back. That's going to be, blitz boy. Yes, let's be honest, but the defense should improve. And you have Pete Carroll as the defensive head coach, so I'm not too worried about the defense. So I think Seahawks are definitely a playoff team. As for the Panthers, they definitely battled in this game. Dalton looked good, obviously. I expected them to look better than Bryce Young. But obviously, this is Bryce Young's team. I wouldn't take this as too much into this.
I feel like everybody was very high on Andy Dalton after this game.
Yes.
And for good reason.
Rightfully so.
Yes, he had himself a game. I feel like he really showed that Adam Thielen is still very much a top-tier receiver.
He had a big day. 10 catches, I think. Yeah, he did. You're right. Now, Bryce Young I think Bryce Young had a good week with him the week before, too. Mm-hmm. But now they need to build off that with Thielen because he's definitely the main guy there.
Yes.
So I went 8-8 this week. Surprisingly, I got the 8 wins. You went 11-5 this week. So now you're 28-20.
Which you were positive.
And I'm 27-21. So you're one game ahead of me.
Comeback's real.
28 wins to 27 wins. So I started off a little bit ahead of you, and you've slowly built your way back. I had a rough week. You had a really good week.
I had a good week. 11 wins. I like it.
So let's get into these next picks. Lions at Packers Thursday Night Football. The Lions are 1.5-point favorites, but the Packers are home.
Oof, I love this game.
This is probably the toughest game, a divisional game. This might decide who's going to win the division, too. I know they play a second time, but I gotta go Packers here. I could be wrong again, but the Packers are home here. I think they probably will get Christian Watson back now. They should get Aaron Jones back too. They should be at full strength, hopefully. And Jordan Love to show me a lot in that second half. And I think the Lions' defense is they've impressed a little bit, but I think the Packers are going to run the ball effectively. And at home, it's a big advantage at home in Lambeau. So the Lions kind of struggle a little bit with the Seahawks on defense, so I could see that happening again here with the Packers. So
both these teams are coming off a good win, so they have some momentum behind them. I've just always been high on the Lions. They have all the pieces that you want. The Packers, they're very good as well. I love Jordan Love. He's doing really good as a rookie not rookie quarterback.
He's kind of a rookie.
He's kind of a rookie in his own ways, but he's been in the league for a while. But I feel like the Lions just have a lot more elite players and a lot more going for them. Like, that back is nothing to be played with. You know?
Gibbs,
yes.
And Montgomery is underrated. I understand that. I think the Packers defense is a little underrated, though. So the lines might be a little bit in check here. But this is a go either way game, honestly.
It really is.
And this is a huge
division. It could go into overtime. Yeah. It could be one of those.
It could be, definitely.
Yeah, I'm getting the Lions for this. I'm still high on my Lions. So going with that.
Falcons at Jaguars, and I think the Jaguars bounce back this week.
They have to. They have to.
Because they've been struggling on offense. The Falcons' defense isn't that good.
So what if they lose this game? What are we going to pace them out to be?
If they lose this game, I think the AFC South's wide open, and then watch out for the Colts. Watch out for the Colts.
That's a very good take.
But they have too many players on offense. They have too many talent. And
it's a very rookie division if you think about it.
Stroud, Richardson, and then you got the Titans with Tannehill, but they drafted the quarterback too. So, and Trevor Lawrence is in his third season. I do like their front seven on the defense, even though they kind of struggled last week. But I think the Falcons' defense isn't that good, and the Jaguars have too much talent. I got the Jaguars.
But like I said before, the Falcons are nothing to play with, so Jaguars better come to play for this game.
Yeah, they're definitely competitive, and they will be in this game.
I'm getting Jaguars for this too, but
gonna be close.
Be weary about this game.
Yeah, the Falcons should definitely take this game. We could be wrong.
Yeah.
Rams at Colts. This one's tough too.
This one's tough as well,
Colts
right?
are 1.5 point favorites and home. I don't know, because is Richardson going to play?
Like I said, does it matter? Minshew showed that he can play, and
that's why I have Colts. So I'm going to go with Colts here.
I'm saying all this, but I chose the Rams for this game.
Stafford worried me a little bit. I think Stafford they came down to earth a little bit.
Okay, that's fine, but I feel like that's better than anything. He's coming off of a loss.
Humbled a little bit.
A little bit. They still have all that, where's Cooper Kupp? When is he coming back?
I think it's going to be either this week or the next. Because
if he comes back this week, definitely. Listen, I'm choosing the Rams either way, but when they come back, they're not a team to mess with.
No, sure. Because all of a sudden Tutu Atwell looks like a player. They got Puka Nacua now. Higbee had a touchdown. They called back, but they got some players now. Kyron Williams looks good. The defense is young and looks impressive and quick. So
Rams are nothing to play with. No. I definitely think they're going to have a good game.
This is going to be a competitive game for sure. I just think the Colts, they've showed a little bit. They've showed fire this season. They've impressed me, and they're home here. And I think Richardson might play in this game. Even if Minshew plays, he's very capable backup. And it looks like they developed an effective running game, and the defense has been good. So I got the Colts in this one.
They have a great system because you have a running quarterback, so he's going to be getting hurt here or there. So Minshew's a great backup.
Perfect backup.
I don't know how long they're going to keep him for, or how long they can keep him for.
I don't even know how long they signed him, but you're right. Perfect.
There's people going to be interested in him.
Yes.
So
you probably get a draft pick for him if you want to.
Yeah.
But we'll see how that goes. So that's a split. That can go either way. Ravens at Browns. Browns are home 2.5 point favorites. This is tough.
This is another close. There's a lot of good games this week that are very close.
I don't know the Ravens' offensive line is coming back anytime soon, but they're not healthy right now. The Browns have shown to be one of the best defenses in the league, and I think the Ravens' offense is going to kind of struggle here. So I got the Browns in this one. It's tough because I like the Ravens a lot. I like Lamar a lot, but they just have too many injuries right now. The Browns are showing they have an elite defense. All Deshaun Watson has to do is go out there and be okay, get it to Amari Cooper a few times, get forward some touches, maybe Kareem Hunt starts to get going.
You're very right. I got the Browns. So they really have to do the bare minimum. So that's fair take. I'm getting the Ravens for this. Lamar Jackson is a top five quarterback.
I have him at like 6 or 7, but very fair take. Top 5.
They're missing players, but they still have some elite players out there.
They still have Lamar.
They still have Lamar.
That's why I'm worried about
this. And he looked really good last week.
He did. If you really watched the whole body of the game, they only scored 19 points, but Lamar was making plays.
He was. Even when the pressure was there, he broke out the pocket. He
ran for some touchdowns,
shedded some tackles.
You're making me change my mind. Now I'll stick with Browns. I like the way the Browns
are a really good. I could have gone either way with this too.
Another tough divisional one too.
Yes, a very tough divisional.
That AFC North, man, real tough.
Yes,
real tough for sure. Vikings at Panthers. Vikings are 3.5 point favorites on the road. I think the Vikings finally will get their first win here, even if Dalton plays. I think the Vikings they gotta win this. They're too good to be 0-4. They're not that bad. I don't think they're that bad.
They're not that
bad.
Their
defense is really bad, but they have players on offense. We have to stop. They got Hawk for a reason. Justin Jefferson, obviously. Madison looked better last game. They added Cam Akers, but what is he really? But they have players.
And then they got that guy that they just drafted,
Jordan Addison. They have KJ Osborne.
He was kind of irrelevant last week.
And Kirk Cousins is a top 13 quarterback. The Panthers.
I don't know. You might be.
We were saying
doing a little much there.
We were saying earlier this year, we would both easily take Kirk Cousins over Dak. No? Did you change that now?
I might be changing.
I think you're very low after the season.
No, I think I would rather take Dak at that point.
Don't get too much recency bias now. Don't forget all the stupid things Dak has done. Even though Kirk Cousins does stupid stuff too.
I don't know. I feel like Dak's high was a lot better than Kirk Cousins' high.
I guess that's reasonable. So
Kirk Cousins is kind of like that, steady. Up and down, up and down.
Dak's kind of like
like that.
So
I like a roller coaster.
So I guess you got Panthers.
No, I don't.
What point are you trying to make?
No, I'm just letting you know.
You're not that high in them, I understand.
But yeah, you're right. They need some sort of comeback. 0-3. They're gonna come out with the fire under their butt.
So I think
they're
so
definitely
too. And
they got something to prove here. And the Panthers, they don't. But like games like that kind of scare me too because
the Panthers have nothing to lose.
They got nothing to lose, so they're gonna be out there fighting. But yeah, I'm getting the Vikings for that. That's like every one of these games are gonna be. I feel like a lot of them are gonna be a lot closer. Yes.
Bengals at Titans. Okay, Bengals 2.5-point favorites on the road. I'm going to go Bengals here. It looks like they kind of got the pieces together on offense a little bit last week at the end.
A little bit, though.
And the defense has impressed me. The defense has impressed me, and the Titans' offense has been very unimpressive. They had one good week against the Chargers in week 2, but week 1 and 3 they struggled. So
they did.
It looks like the theme is going to be they struggled. I haven't really heard Derrick Henry's name much. Has he really? I think he's been ineffective.
He was completely stopped against the
great defense,
the Browns.
Yeah,
I get kudos to them. If Bengals could do anything what the Browns did, then I'm a little afraid. For the Titans this week.
Yeah, so
because I don't know what's going on with them. I don't know what's going on with Derrick Henry.
So I guess in a way you don't like either team, but you trust the Titans less than the Bengals. I guess in a way.
Yeah. But this is another one that could be closer than we think.
Yeah, because the Titans tend to play these good teams close for some reason.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Some weird reason.
This is Mike Vrabel, the head coach. I keep telling you.
I mean, Ryan Tannehill is kind of like a veteran quarterback.
And he's smart.
So he knows
he's a smart guy, yeah. And, it's good. I think it's enough. These are all really go either way games. It's all over the place, to be honest, my friend. But Bucks at Saints, another divisional game, an NFC South matchup. The Saints are 3-point favorites at home. Now I'm going to say
these are tough picks.
If Carr plays, Saints. If he doesn't play, Bucks. That's all I'm going to say.
So I'm going to go right with you on that one because
okay, we're in lockstep on that
because Jameis Winston just cannot get it done. He can't get it done.
He looks
against
like he's
a veteran Bucks team. There's so many veterans on that team
defense,
that know what they're doing. They're going to run that game with Jameis Winston in. With Derek Carr in, it's going to be a battle. But yes, exactly what you say. We're going to make our picks when it comes
time.
But
it's basically going to depend on whether Derek Carr plays or not. It's going to sway our whole thing. But it's a good divisional match.
It is.
It's good. Like I said, the Bucs could be fighting for a playoff spot. This is going to show it. This is the Saints are probably the best team in this division. If you go out and beat them here, that's huge for you.
Dude, I forgot to mention that Rashid Shaheed, he had himself a game.
What a kick! Yeah, but
what a kick! He's just such a gadget guy. He's a fast guy. And then you got Chris Olave. That's just
who he made another great catch.
I know that little one-hander on the sideline, looking like Odell Beckham.
Yeah,
so they have the talent there.
Pretty sure I saw Jimmy Graham get a touchdown too. So now he's back on the Saints, which is crazy.
I feel like the Saints are so underrated. They just don't have that quarterback.
Well, we weren't impressed from week 2 with the Panthers, but they were good with Derek Carr this week.
Yeah,
until he got hurt. Against the
Again,
Packers.
It's hard to gel when you have a new QB that just comes into the offense and doesn't know it that well.
Exactly. No, that's a very good point. No.
So, they're starting to ramp up, but, it's just really unfortunate he had this injury. Hopefully it's nothing bad. I mean, I heard he avoided
just
a serious
a sprain.
Yeah, but you don't want something like
weeks,
but you don't want something that's going to linger,
Like Burrow in this calf injury. Good point there. Dolphins at Bills. Bills are 3-point favorites at home. I gotta go Dolphins here.
How can you not? They just scored 70 points. How can you not? Bills are good, but
I think the Dolphins.
They're not that good.
I think the Dolphins and the Niners are the best teams in the league. Like the Dolphins are they're a video game. They are a video game, Dylan. They're just look the Bill. We could be wrong about this because the Bills are a very good team. But I think how are they gonna stop that Dolphins offense? They're gonna stop their passing game. They'll just run it. They're gonna stop their running game. They're just gonna throw it. It's just
Mostert had himself a day.
And that A-Chain, I think I keep getting his name wrong. A-Chain, that guy was a stud, apparently. They had 200 rushing yards. He's their third string running back because their backup was out, Ahmed, I think. And, they didn't have Jalen Waddle. They did not have Jalen Waddle.
Any team that has 700 total yards
and missed their number 2 receiver, who's actually a number 1 on many teams. So
blows my mind.
But the Bills it's going to be a close game because the Bills. I think Josh.
They just scored 37 points.
Honestly, I think Josh Allen's going to try and keep up, and he's going to start turning the ball over again. Make
stupid throws. Yeah, it's a good take.
I can see that happening. So Dolphins for both of us. Broncos at Bears. This is tough. This is more of like a process of elimination because we don't like either of these teams. Broncos are 3.5 point favorites on the road.
So
I'll let you go first.
Broncos look bad, but Bears look terrible.
Bears, I think, are the worst team in the league.
I mean, if Broncos lose this game, you might as well just get rid of everyone at that point. You Sean Payton shouldn't even show up to the next practice. I heard a theory about
after the season just trading Sean Payton. It's like, you're going to give up this quick? We're 3 games in, It's a little crazy.
It is.
I got the Broncos in this one, too. Just by, like I said, by process of elimination. I just don't like the Bears at all.
The Bears, if they want any sort of glimpse of keeping Justin Fields, this is the game that you need to.
You got to win this game. Like, come on, this is a winnable game.
They just had 70 points scored against them. You can do stuff.
You're home. This is a winnable game against a defense that looks like they're not as good as last season.
This is a gimme for them. Let's see what the Bears can do. Well, I'm getting the Broncos.
So it's funny because this is a gimme for them because this is the easiest game I've seen so far for them. But at the same time, it's like not a gimme because the Broncos are favored. So it's like they're we got Broncos in this one, but it's like if they don't win this one, when are they going to win the game this season? It's like. It's crazy to think about.
They really might get Caleb Williams just by process of elimination.
Yeah, just like, okay, you're definitely the worst team. So, well, this might be a Caleb. Well, not Russell Wilson's stuck.
And then you can just trade, Fields.
Someone might take a flyer for a 4th or a 5th or something. I mean, like he's got talent.
He'd be a good backup.
Well, I get backups are more steady, good, consistent.
Good Lamar backup.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like RG3 was Lamar's, but that's actually a good point. But like. Someone's going to take a chance on them again. He's too talented. But, it's just not going to work here. You have a defensive head coach.
You got to realize it might be the coaching staff. I said this the other week.
It is the coaching staff. And, he was right to an extent when he said maybe the coaching, but not the right thing to say.
No, not the team. But maybe if you move on to another, the coaching staff over there wasn't too high.
Yeah, but he wasn't wrong though.
Wasn't wrong, but it's just not something you say.
Sean Payton finally gets a win. Hopefully, we'll see.
I don't know. Hopefully,
Commanders at Eagles. Eagles 8.5 point favorites at home.
So you're gonna go with the Commanders this week? You are on them last week.
I've learned my lesson.
You learned.
I like Sam Howell.
You can't trust a rookie quarterback.
No, you can't.
Plain and
he's
simple.
He's pretty much a rookie. He's not, but he is. He's only had 1 start last season.
Yeah.
So
I feel like they're missing that one star on their team to really elevate them.
like McLaurin a lot. They probably would be better if they had a
I
elite
feel like
back.
They should trade McLaurin at that point. He just hasn't been efficient. Hasn't been any sort of relevance.
Before this year, he proved that he could do it with multiple different quarterbacks. He's been a little up and down this season. I will say that. For me, the Eagles just can win multiple different ways. They have the best offensive line in the league. That's just going to win them a bunch of games. And, the Commanders do have a decent D-line, but I don't think it's going to overcome this great offensive line. And I think the Eagles are going to have their way again. They're going to run with Swift like they've been doing, and they're going to win like they've been winning. So I think we don't have to talk much more about this. Eagles in the landslide, probably.
Yeah.
This would be the one that we end up being wrong because that's just how the league. It's been every given Sunday has become a real statement this season. Yeah. Any given Sunday, the Cardinals can beat the Cowboys. So
now Texans over. We got Steelers at Texans, and Texans just had themselves a crazy win.
Yeah.
So.
They might be riding high, a little too high.
A little too high.
Steelers are 3-point favorites on the road, so the Texans might be a little. They might end up being a little step back because they're so happy from that win. They might end up being a little lackadaisical here. I mean, I'm just being hypothetical here.
Yeah,
but the Steelers defense. I don't think the Texans offense is as good as they showed that last week, and the Steelers defense is really good. So they're going to struggle here, I think.
So I think the Steelers are going to just keep it rolling. Like I was saying before, they didn't start off too hot, but they're really starting to change my mind. I really like the Steelers for this one. They should be the game where they should be a blowout. Honestly, the Steelers should run this game.
Yeah, because the Texans' offense I think is not as good as we saw last week, and the Steelers' defense is really really good. So there's gonna be a lot of turnovers in this game. I don't think C.J. Stroud's thrown an interception yet. I think he set a record for most passes as a rookie without an interception, like 121. It's impressive from Stroud.
Watch out! You got the Steelers.
Yeah,
now.
I think he throws his first pick this game. Not a crazy take by any means, I don't think.
No.
So Raiders at Chargers. Chargers 6-point favorites at home. Are the Chargers going to choke here, Dylan? What do you think?
I really hope not, man. They
You hope not or you don't think so? Do they get Eckler back finally? Because I need him in fantasy. Come on.
I don't even think you need him at this point.
No, you don't, but I need him.
I know, you need him. He was not the problem. They could do stuff.
They're scoring points, yeah.
They are. It's the coaching staff. They got
the decision making, the defense.
They're just doing a lot of stupid stuff here.
I got Chargers too. The Raiders are just too inconsistent for me.
Raiders did not have a good week, and
their offense is too inconsistent, too up and down. Jimmy G kind of struggles at times, and the defense sucks. So I think the Chargers are going to win by a lot here. Yeah,
you know what they do against bad defenses. So
exactly.
I mean, they have the talent. So let's see if the Chargers can get like a 30-point win.
They have the talent, but they tend to disappoint on defense. But they had a good pass rush last week, so they need to continue that into this week. Cardinals at 49ers. 49ers are 14-point favorites at home.
Can the Cardinals do it again?
I don't think so.
So I was talking to you about this off air. What if the Cardinals beat the 49ers?
Yeah, I dismissed it immediately. I'm like, no, stop. Because the 49ers aren't choke artists like the Cowboys are.
Yes, but they just beat the Cowboys. And what do you make of that? That's pretty crazy.
I don't know if that's like an indictment on the Cardinals or the Cowboys. I still got to figure that out.
That's a good point. Yeah, we need one more week to figure that one out.
So I think the 49ers win
I think the 49ers win this.
Probably by exactly 14. I can see that happening. Like 2 touchdowns sounds about right. Maybe 10. I think the Cardinals are going to be competitive, but then in the second half, the Niners do what they always do. They keep ground and pounding with McCaffrey. Debo gets open for a couple routes, and they start to pull away.
And the Cardinals tend to not too good in the second half.
Yeah,
and the 49ers seem to do really good in the second half.
Exactly. So that's a good take there.
So yeah, I can definitely see this turning into a blowout at the end of the game, just like the Giants game.
But being close in the first half.
Yes,
right?
Yes, exactly. Yep.
Patriots at Cowboys. Cowboys are 6.5-point favorites at home. This might be closer than we think.
I think this is going to be a really close game just for the fact that the Patriots have a really good defense. They do. Top of par this year.
They'll have 10 points to the Jets, so. I got Cowboys.
Yeah, I got the Cowboys here too, but I want to see a good fight here.
I think they bounce back here.
NFC versus AFC East. I don't know. It's just something about that.
Two tough divisions. Not really anymore because the Jets suck, but other than that, the Patriots have been better than what we thought. Yeah. They struggled last week against the Jets, but this defense... I think they're going to eat up Mac Jones, the Cowboys defense. It's going to be a little bit of a struggle here. Maybe it's closer than we think. I think the Patriots defense will hold the Cowboys offense because, Dax tends to struggle, sometimes throw some picks. But the Cowboys defense is going to demolish the Patriots offense. So that's how I think it's going to go. It's going to be probably low scoring, 20-10 Cowboys win.
Might be a Belichick week, man. Listen, I'm getting the Cowboys all the way, but I don't know. I want to see the Patriots come out and start firing on them.
What does Bill Belichick scheme on the defense against Dak? Does he force Dak to make mistakes? That's a good thing to watch out for this week.
Yeah.
Chiefs at Jets. Sunday Night Football. The Jets haven't been on
Sunday Night Football.
The Jets have not been on Sunday Night Football since Mark Sanchez's butt fumble. Okay? So
you might have a recreation of that.
Yes, it might happen. Chiefs are 9.5-point favorites on the road. 9.5-point favorites.
Oh my God.
I got the Jets. No, I'm kidding. I got the Chiefs. Obviously, I got the
walk out of here.
Obviously, I got the Chiefs. Zach, this is going to be the game. National audience that Zach Wilson gets exposed for what he really is, and everyone's going to see that he sucks. So that's what I got for that.
There's not much to say here, man.
It's going to be a blowout. It's going to be a blowout.
Nothing on the Jets' offense has been working. Nothing.
The running game hasn't been working. No. They can't block.
You got your elite Breece Hall. Everybody was so high on him last year before he got hurt, and we thought they were going to be good. They got Dalvin Cook. You got...
Who's been nothing, Dalvin Cook. Nothing. He looks like he doesn't want to be there.
No, I mean
he went there for Rodgers, and now he's not there. So
it's really disappointing. But I'm getting the Chiefs for this one.
I don't blame you. So Seahawks at Giants. Last but not least, Monday Night Football. Giants are 1.5-point favorites at home. This is tough for me, but
not tough for me, man. I'm rooting for my Giants all the way.
Really? Why?
Yeah, just the Seahawks are a good team. They really are. And, it's going to be a tough fight. My heart, my brain's telling me Seahawks, but my heart's telling me Giants.
That's like me last week at the Patriots Jets.
Charlie. Yeah. I just want to see the Giants perform this week. They had a decent game against the 49ers. They just couldn't finish. So I want to see some sort of changes. I want to see the defense make some actual tackles. I don't know if we're going to be able to tackle Metcalf. I don't think we're going to.
That's a good point. Charbonnet, Walker, you're not going to be able to tackle those guys.
God, you're scared.
I got Seahawks just because I think Seahawks have too much offensive talent and overwhelm the Giants' defense. They have 2 rookie cornerbacks. I think it's gonna be tough for the Giants. I think it's gonna be a close game. Don't get me wrong.
Listen, I think it's gonna be tough for the Giants too, but they need this win.
They do. They don't want to start. What are they 1-2 right now? Yeah, they start 1-3. And I heard this on the radio today, the New York radio, WFAN, which is a good point. this could be a tiebreaker at the end of the season. These are two teams that could be fighting for a wild card. So if the Seahawks beat the Giants here, now you lose that tiebreaker at the end of the season. Because last season you lost to the Lions, I'm pretty sure, but you tied with the Commanders. That's the only reason that the Lions didn't make the playoffs over you guys, because you had that tie. So again, you don't want these tiebreakers to come back to bite you. But I still got the Seahawks. So I like their offensive talent. Geno Smith looks really good. And they got two really good backs, it's looking like. So, and I'm pretty sure they get Jamal Adams back this week. So that will help the defense. I got Seahawks. You got Giants. Okay, so now we will make our parlay picks for the Thursday night football game. We got Lions at Packers. A very good divisional game. A lot of juicy things here.
Yeah.
So I will begin. So I got Goff 250-plus passing yards. I think that, I do have the Packers winning this game, but I do think Jared Goff's going to have a good day on the offense. They have a good offensive line. I think Amon-Ra St. Brown's going to put on a day. Sammy Laporta has been coming on.
Yes, Sammy Laporta had a great game.
They will probably start off with the running game, and then as the running game develops, they will go to the play action, and Goff will have a big day.
So the first parlay I have is A.J. Dillon anytime touchdown. Now, the only reason why I like this is because you have Aaron Jones that's out, and he's basically their main running back there, and he does catch a lot of passes out the backfield, so he can get it any way he wants.
Yeah, that's a very reasonable one, especially if Jones doesn't play. Probably won't since it's Thursday night.
No, I don't think he won't.
So I'm going with an alternate spread here. I got Packers plus 3.5. I think the Packers are going to keep this within a field goal. It's a divisional game. I got the Packers winning.
Well, yeah, you got the Packers winning.
But I do think it'll be within a field goal for them because, like I said, divisional game is going to be tight. Packers have a decent defense.
This is one I could easily see going into overtime. I said it before.
You did say that. So
watch out. If this one goes into overtime, I told you so.
I could see it coming down to a field goal, too. So plus 3.5 Packers feels pretty good for me. What's your second pick?
So the second one I have is Amon-Ra St. Brown getting over 6.5 receptions. That's easy, man. He's their go-to guy. This is a game that, Green Bay Packers defense isn't, they're good, but, their cornerbacks are, right in the middle of the pack. Amon-Ra St. Brown always puts on a show, and that's his go-to, like I said. So, 7 catches shouldn't be a problem there.
They do have Jair Alexander, but I'm not sure if he's going to trail St. Brown or not, so I could definitely St. Brown's their whole offense, so I could easily see that. But what were you going to say?
Yeah, but Sam Laporta had himself weak last week, so they might take that into consideration.
Might spread the love, or they might not. So total, I got an alternate total points. I got under 49.5. Like I said, divisional game. The Lions defense has been better than we thought. The Packers defense is pretty decent. I think the offense is kind of it's going to be a slow start, but I think they pick up in the second half. But it won't be enough to go past the 49.5 for me. So I got under 49.5.
Yeah, the next one I have is Jordan Love getting over 225 passing yards. I think that's no problem. Jordan Love put on a show last week, and I think he's going to do the same thing against the Lions.
Okay.
Nothing much else there. 225.
That's pretty reasonable for a quarterback passing yards. I got Romeo Doubs over 3.5 catches.
Okay.
Even if Christian Watson comes back, it's a short week. He's going to have to be acclimated back to the offense. I think Jordan Love's going to be looking for him a lot now, and he's been making some great catches. That back shoulder catch he made, he's just showing more and more each week. He's been developing a rapport with Jordan Love, so I think it's gonna be a big week for Dobbs.
Yeah.
So what's your last one?
The last pick I have is Sam Laporta getting 40 receiving yards. Now he had himself a week last week.
Yep.
Like you were saying before, Jair Alexander, he's probably going to be following St. Brown, so I can easily see Sam Laporta stepping up and being their number one.
It's actually not terrible to think about. Yeah, because if Jair Alexander follows St. Brown, probably leave the Porter open. So that's a good one. So I got, again, we'll repeat now. I got Goff 250-plus passing yards, Packers plus 3.5, total points under 49.5, and Romeo Doubs over 3.5 catches.
And then I have A.J. Dillon anytime touchdown, Amon-Ra St. Brown over 6.5 receptions, Jordan Love over 225 passing yards, and Sam Laporta 40 receiving yards.
Okay, so those are our parlay picks.
Yeah.
Now,
get that money, guys. Let's go.
Get that money. Ride it with us, guys. Ride it with us. So please like, subscribe, share. Dylan, we're going into week 4. This has been a great season so far. Oh my God!
I
think the big takeaway we can take from this week is any given Sunday. The Cardinals could beat the Cowboys. We don't know what's going to happen anymore. It's all up in the air.
I thought the Giants could beat the 49ers, but no.
See, that one's not every given Sunday. But, there's going to be an upset here probably.
Yeah, man.
It happens every week.
Beating the Jaguars. That kind of blew me away.
That's another one, yes.
That blew me away.
That blew me away, too.
Texans are a lot better than we thought, and Jaguars aren't as high as I thought.
So watch out for that one, because
Yeah.
can the Jaguars bounce back? Are the Texans going to keep it up? Are the Commanders as bad as they showed last week? Can the Bills keep up with the Dolphins? A lot of good storylines.
Are the Cardinals going to make that next step? You know,
Who's going to win the divisional match of Lions Packers? A lot of good games this week. So
who's getting Caleb Williams?
The Caleb Williams sweepstakes,
Dude, that's
so.
the big question mark I have. You know, because what's happening with Kyler Murray? There's just a lot of developing stories that I look forward to.
Look forward to it a lot. Thanks,
Yes,
Dylan.
exciting week.
See you next week.